1809 Protection of open meter sockets, all types. Where customer will energize meter sockets, e.g. Where sockets are energized from a hot gutter, it shall be customer's responsibility to close meter socket openings and to secure the socket's permanent covers in place to protect against shock hazard, tampering, and weather. 1. Customer must provide this protection pending the installation of meters by CPS Energy. CPS Energy will, on request by customer, issue, on loan, socket opening cover plates for ringless meter sockets. Refer to Table 1801 for socket opening cover plates. 2. CPS Energy will issue to contractors a one-time lock for securing meter sockets, gutters, etc. when contractor's work is complete. Where sockets will not be energized, customer may protect sockets by covering openings with heavy-duty cardboard held firmly in place. 1810 Communication provisions for metering. Where communication with CPS Energy metering equipment is restricted due to location of metering equipment within customer's building, customer shall provide meter communication provisions as outlined herein by CPS Energy. Customer shall arrange for this service with CPS Energy prior to construction, for proper coordination and design. Customer shall provide a one-line electrical diagram of the proposed installation during the planning and design stages for review and approval from CPS Energy's Electric Service and Metering Standards section. The location and type of required communication equipment will be determined by CPS Energy. General guidelines are as follows. 1810-1. Apartment complexes. For apartment complexes with individually metered apartment units, each group meter installation, i.e. meter room, modular meter center, may require provisions for a functional telephone line to be installed adjacent to metering equipment to provide dial-in/out service where deemed necessary by CPS Energy. Exception. Sites provided with ion power quality meters must comply with Article 1810-1810-2. SLP, ELP, and LLP sites with square D ion power quality meters. For these types of sites where metering has been approved by CPS Energy to be located inside a building, the following minimum provisions shall be provided by the customer. A. One Ethernet cable located inside or adjacent to metering equipment, terminated with a male RJ45 plug, and tied to a 100 Mbit/s or better Ethernet network. Note: TCP ports and additional ports to be determined by CPS Energy and shall be opened at the customer's firewall in order to allow communications to the metering from CPS Energy software systems. B. RJ11 telephone line connection inside or adjacent to metering equipment. C. One radio antenna suitable for the cellular band of frequencies, 700, 800, 850, 1700, 1900, 2100, 2300, and /or 2500 MHz, matched for 50 ohm impedance, and rated with a 3 dB gain or better. 1. If the antenna location provides a minimum of 500 feet clear line of sight, it shall be mounted at least 7 feet above street/ground level. 2. If the antenna location does not provide a minimum 500-foot clear line of sight, then it shall be mounted a minimum of 40 feet above street/ground level. 3. The customer shall provide the following minimum requirements. A. The antenna shall be accessible to CPS Energy personnel. B. The antenna shall not be surrounded by transmission/reception interfering materials, i.e. metallic walls, cabinets, etc. C. It is preferred the antenna be located on an exterior part of the building. However, if located internally, the antenna shall be located as near as possible to the exterior portion of the building for best signal strength. 4. Antenna cabling. A. One RG8 coaxial cable to the metering communications box, terminated with a male mini UHF connector. B. The provided antenna cable shall be one of the 3 cable types listed below. 1 Belden low-loss RG8/U coaxial cable, Product number 9914 to Andrew Corp low lost RG8/U coaxial cable. Product number CNT 403 times microwave low loss RG8/U coaxial cable. Product number LMR 400. Note: in the event the customer wishes to use an alternative antenna cable brand, they must first contact CPS Energy for approval. C. The antenna cable shall be installed in minimum 1/2-inch conduit from the antenna to each communication box. D. The antenna coaxial cable run shall not exceed 200 feet. Installer shall make their best effort to minimize the cable run and prevent excess cable curls and turns. 1810 3 Network Administration. During installation and configuration of the networking equipment, i.e. routers, the customer shall provide a network administrator contact person to assist CPS Energy in configuring Ethernet communications and testing communications for the watt-hour meter, i.e. ION. The contact person shall be directly responsible for programming their network routers, firewalls, and assigning IP addresses. 1810 for acceptance testing. Testing of the system shall be performed upon completion of the installation for CPS Energy acceptance. General testing requirements are as follows. A. Grounding of the bus work. 1. The bus work will be de-energized and grounded by customer prior to acceptance testing by CPS Energy. 2. In order for CPS Energy's acceptance test equipment to work properly, the bus work shall be grounded on only one end, either the line side or the load side. B. Work notifications. 1. Customer shall provide at least 3 days, excluding holidays and weekends, notice for acceptance tests and other work required of CPS Energy metering personnel. Customer may coordinate work requests with CPS Energy's customer service representative. See the following figures or tables in the specification manual. Table 1801 Standard metering equipment furnished by CPS Energy. Table 1802 Calculated loads and meter socket ampicities. Figure 1801 Customer furnished, self-contained, single-phase meter sockets, CPS Energy approved. Figure 1802 CPS Energy furnished, self-contained, 3-phase meter sockets. Figure 1803 meter socket wiring for single-phase, 12 CR 240 volt, 3-wire underground service. Figure 1804 meter socket wiring for single phase, 120 Q40 volt, 3-wire overhead service. Figure 1805 meter socket wiring for single phase, 120208 volt, 3-wire meters in multiple metering design. Figure 1806 meter socket wiring for 200 amp 3-phase, 208 YL 120 volt, 4-wire service. Figure 1807 meter socket wiring for 320 amp 3-phase, 208 YL 120 volt, 4-wire service. Figure 1808 meter socket wiring for 200 ampere 3-phase, 4-wire delta, 120-240 volt service. Figure 1809 meter socket wiring diagram, 480 Y/277 volt, self-contained, 4-wire, 3-phase, 200 amperes. Service, 4-wire meters in multiple metering design. Figure 1810 meter socket wiring diagram, 480 YJ277 volt, self-contained, 4-wire, 3-phase, 320 amperes. Service, 4-wire meters in multiple metering design. Figure 1811 weatherproof instrument transformer enclosures. Figure 1812 enclosure sockets for instrument transformer rated meters. Figure 1813 typical current transformer installation in a standard CT enclosure on overhead to underground service. Figure 1814 typical single-phase modular metering installation. Figure 1815 auxiliary bus gutter with self-contained and transformer rated meter sockets, standard 480 Y/227 volt, 3-phase service design with main breaker. Figure 1816 auxiliary wire gutter with 7 or more self-contained, Single-phase meter sockets standard 120/240V single-phase design with main breaker figure 1817 auxiliary wire gutter with 6 or fewer self-contained, single-phase meter sockets standard 120/240V. Single-phase design without main breaker figure 1818 typical transocket installation on overhead to underground service figure 1819 CPS energy furnished transockets code 23 CPS energy material number 103-1227 ampacity. 400 ampere, overhead, balanced, allowable conductor sizes. 3/0 AWG through 500 kcm parallel CU maximum conduit size. 4-inch enclosure shall accommodate a maximum 4-inch hub and be provided with eccentric knockouts on each side, bottom, and lower back. Minimum dimension of socket enclosure. H equals 36, 40 OD, W equals 25 OD, D equals 12.5 ID. Transocket is only for use with 4-wire, 3-phase services where source conductors enter at or near top of enclosure and load conductors exit at or near bottom. Code 24 CPS energy material number 103-1228 ampacity. 800 ampere, overhead, balanced, allowable conductor sizes. 350 kcm through 500 kcm parallel CU maximum allowable conduit size. 4-inch enclosure shall accommodate a maximum 4-inch hub and be provided with eccentric knockouts on each side, bottom, and lower back. Minimum dimension of socket enclosure. H equals 48 OD, W equals 25 OD, D equals 12.5 ID. Transocket is only for use with 4-wire, 3-phase services where source conductors enter at or near top of enclosure and load conductors exit at or near bottom. Code 25 CPS energy material number 104-2400 ampacity. 400 ampere, underground, balanced, allowable conductor sizes. 3/0 AWG through 500 kcm parallel CU maximum conduit size. 4-inch enclosure shall accommodate a maximum 4-inch hub and be provided with eccentric knockouts on each side, bottom, and lower back. Minimum dimension of socket enclosure. H equals 3640 OD, W equals 25 OD, D equals 12.5 ID. Transocket is only for use on 4-wire, 3-phase services, where source conductors enter at or near bottom of enclosure and load conductors exit at or near top. Code 26 CPS energy material number 104-2401 ampacity. 800 ampere, underground, balanced, allowable conductor sizes. 350 kcm through 500 kcm parallel CU maximum allowable conduit size. 4-inch enclosure shall accommodate a maximum 4-inch hub and be provided with eccentric knockouts on each side, bottom, and lower back. Minimum dimension of socket enclosure. H equals 48 OD, W equals 25 OD, D equals 12.5 ID. Transocket is only for use on 4-wire, 3-phase services, where source conductors enter at or near bottom of enclosure and load conductors exit at or near top. Figure 1820 metering equipment rack width, CT/VT, installation figure 1821 clearance requirements electric service equipment and gas service equipment.